So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 game news. I would have brought a little bit of video yesterday, but I'm having some bad shit with work at the moment, so and just as well as I delayed it because of course this morning the bigger YouTubers of course have been given a copy of the F1 game already. And it's not even the week before yet. But oh well, we've got a couple of articles. Everybody, of course, has been reviewing the game, and of course, they've been interviewing Lee Mazer, which means that all of a sudden we've gone from having no articles to having every man and his dog making an article on F1 2020. But nevertheless, we'll start with an article from Full Throttle. Written by Alan Walsh. Who's he? No idea. Obviously, he starts off very boringly about the fact that he's not getting his free tea and coffee this year. But yes, there's a bit of the something virus, and I'm not going to mention it. But so instead, we're going to move through the article. You of course can read these articles for yourself, and of course we've got this casual handling model, which apparently what I've seen so far, or heard rather so far, the handling model is better than F1 2019. I have not tested it myself, and I presume that their wheel thing, there has been the ERS system has been overhauled. Basically, it's an automatic process for 2020. There is an overtake button, which basically allows you to overwrite, but that's only available in the races. So obviously you got to think about that. I think they're saying it works like the old KERS system. You've only got so much of that per race, and obviously you've only got so much ERS per lap anyway. And ultimately it depends. Leave your sitting duck. Enable it after a full charge of the battery is certain to push you ahead of drivers nearby. So I think that's going to work. The ERS is actually probably more likely going to work a bit more like Motorsport Manager. This is. Shall I tell you what? If I was, is it Sega? I'd be taking a very close look at F1 2020. You might have a lawsuit there, because that sounds to me like they're going for the Motorsport Manager style ERS deployment, which in my view is better than the dribble that F1. I think they did they were talking to a lot of F1 drivers, obviously. Lando Norris, of course, who's recently become Boldo Norris, mentioned to Codemasters, well, why is it so complicated in real life? It does not. The computer controls how much is going through. We only have an overtake button. That's it. Now, the big thing in today's video is My Team. We got multiple articles on My Team. This isn't just the only one. We already know about sponsors. Unfortunately, they are fake. I'll show that in an article later on. Build out the facilities for R&D. I'm not sure if R&D. We haven't seen a lot of that R&D. I imagine that's going to be mentioned later on in another video. Train a second driver. So is this going to be like in FIFA where you get to train your players? Is this going to be like training a second driver, perhaps? Maybe to get them to drive in the classic cars. Increase marketing efforts to make more advertising sponsors better rate. You have to carefully manage how time is spent between race weekend, allowing vacation time to boost team morale and effectively balance the work between all facility and operation with a very important goal in mind. I expect that there'll be a calendar, well, we can put it more, and I think it will be like the calendar that we saw that they implemented for multiplayer with the league racing in F1 2019 earn R&D points. Money is spent to hires and paying your engine supplier, whilst R&D points are essential for research and are dictated to how your team performs. It's a shame that you can't become your own engine supplier. That's the only thing. That could be something that goes in the future. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to design your own car. They're going to be using the FOM car, which was built last year. Now, all the cars you can see in this screenshot here now, they're all the FOM car. They are not the real cars anyway. The gameplay that you've seen so far on YouTube and other places, it's all the FOM car. They have not put in the models for the new cars yet. 5 to 6 sponsor slots. I will touch on that in a moment because there's a bit. Another article expands on the sponsors. Create a badge, set outfit colours and customise team branding, and even choose the colour scheme used in the facilities. That's quite cool. That is a GTA style thing. If you ever played GTA 5, you've got to choose the colour of the offices, and I think I remember the thing. Hopefully it's not the bunker, excuse me, but I must just say, hopefully it's not just a two-tone thing, and they've got more things you can like, because decals is something we would like to see, and I'd definitely like to see in that. I'm sure you guys would too, having a nice scheme, or hopefully the logo gets used a bit more than just a badge, and hopefully the badge you'd be able to. I would love to be able to import my own channel logo into the game. That would be quite cool, and use that as the team badge. I doubt that will happen, and there'll probably be the generic ones from multiplayer last year, which is unfortunate. When starting out, your facility will be with a modest wind tunnel setup. So the wind tunnels, well, technically speaking, did make a brief appearance in F1 2012, but that was only on the menu screen. But now you've got that thing, you can, I presume that's going to be designed in the car. That's going to be quite nice. Now, this is the thing. Competitors from F2, obviously everybody's got a price, which I think I'll come back to that because it's in another article, because there's a bit more about transfers in another article. But basically what it says here is a level 1 engine and facilities, so you're more likely to get, initially when you start my team, you're more likely to be able to buy a second Formula 2 driver and get him in there. Potentially also you could make your own story mode if you like, let's say let's say you buy a Ferrari engine, and then that of course enables you to have access to the Ferrari driver academy. I'm not sure if driver academies are coming back for F1 2020, or whether they are going to be staying in F1 if they are, or whether or not, I don't know, if they could be in career mode. We don't know, because there is a Formula 2, as it comes down here, it mentions here the story elements and rivals. The F1 2019's career mode has been retired, so Lucas Weber, Davon Butler are gone, potentially. I mean, they could potentially be brought back for my team, but they're gone basically. That story mode was literally just for that game. There is still the 3 race, although you can go through the full thing, but obviously we already know about the thing, and the ability to order the tracks. as I said earlier, I will be going for 16 races. If you okay, that notification, by the way, is saying that Carlos Sainz is set to replace Sebastian Vettel. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an announcement this evening, or if not this evening, tomorrow, that he's going to rejoin Ferrari. Daniel Ricciardo reports to join McLaren. If Vettel joins Renault, that's my. I will talk more about that. I wanted to do a Turn 2 podcast about that as well. So, but I'm waiting. I think I might just wait for them to announce sites, because it looks like that deal thing, and then bang the two into one. So yes, if you're not yet subscribed, by the way, to my channel, then I'd really appreciate if you do. I'm having a tough time outside of YouTube at the moment, and it'll be nice just to see that the channel is starting to make some growth again. Now Hanoi. Now the thing is, it's at Hanoi. I'm not sure what's going on there. There's something going on behind the scenes, because none of the episodes on YouTube have actually seen Hanoi. Zandvoort. I've already touched a little bit about Zandvoort. They've said they used, oh yes, we've used this LiDAR data because it's on a floodplain. There's lots of this data available. The problem is that the circuit design that came out last week, which I did touch upon, I think I might have touched upon in the previous episode, basically said that the circuit is not accurate. The bends are not steep enough compared to what they are in real life. But LiDAR, I should know this because mapping is my job, but I've forgotten what LiDAR stands for, because it has been many years since I did surveying, 7 years ago, since I was doing that part of university. But ultimately, I'm not sure, is LiDAR really the best thing they can go? Should they really be going laser scan? I don't know if they're doing that from the air as well, or whether they are actually sending the car around. They can attach it to do that. It's not. I wouldn't personally do that. I personally think that laser scanning is a lot better than LiDAR. Getting a laser to scan points and then create that elevation change from there. Maybe get a what's called a digital terrain model, and basically map those points and then overlay those points over that model, and then you'll have the you'll A, have the correct terrain modeling, and B, you'll then have the correct points as well for the change between features and other services. So that's personally what I would do, but ultimately Codemasters, well, they can do what they like, it's their game. And yeah, now racing, there's a bit about racing. I haven't tried the game myself, just to point out, so I cannot tell you what it means, but this bloke has, and I think that the handling is a lot better than last year. Last year was very understeer. And just a note here, the bumper's gone at Suzuka as we suspected in the last video, and the safety car bug has also been fixed, and has been refined for the criteria for activation, because, well, we didn't have any until November, and then since then we've had it literally every race. Apparently they're employing Amazon Web Services graphics in the game due to the company's partnership. So hopefully this, because they do the speedometers and other stuff, so hopefully you start seeing those official graphics, and hopefully they can get imported onto the replay cameras. That would be quite nice. A complete pile up, as you'd expect. We'll finish it. the 427 and he invented the classic GP timeframes. Not sure about what that means by that, but whilst they'll no longer match the official calendar, they will be adjusted to go in line with the changes to the season. Mather says multiplayer will continue to refine whatever exists, and more attention post-launch of future updates reduce feature requests. Now, one thing that's been heavily requested over the years is crossplay. Basically means that you can be on PS4, I can be on PC, and we can be in the same lobby. As it does, I think it was in Dirt 4. I'm not sure if it was in Dirt Rally 2, but it was definitely in Dirt 4, and it's not here in F1 2020 yet. But it has been talked about, and also virtual reality. They haven't developed this. Now, whether or not this I'd come back to virtual reality potentially for F1 2021. I'm going to say this why, because that means that we've had a full year now, basically a full game cycle of them to A, to develop, and B, have the people that make Project Cars 2 and Project Cars on board, because they do virtual reality. So yes. And then obviously there's a little bit about the future of Formula 1, and obviously we've got the new round of consoles. We've got F1 2015 getting mentioned. Literally the worst F1 game ever. Well, I say that, I mean there are a lot down there. But yes, there's obviously going to be patches, of course, because the team haven't had a race yet, so and apparently if Hockenheim does get added to the calendar, then this will get re-added. I don't know what's going to happen if they have another track, because as I say, this is just rumours, but we could also see Imola get added, which they haven't had in the game since F1 2013, so yeah, whether or not they add any other tracks, I don't know. Braking differences are much shorter in the game as well. They've done a little bit of that. They've been working with some of the drivers to make sure, is this okay? But yeah, that was this first article. Now let's move on to the second. So the second one is from Motorsport, and again, the sixth and last actually is that one, by the way. Now I can't remember what there was in here. So yes, players will be able to choose from a driver pool that includes talents from outside of the F1 2020 grid. F2 drivers can be called out, active F1 drivers can retire, and each driver in the game will have the value attached when negotiating the contracts. It means the strange market moves, like from 2019, like Sebastian Vettel opted to jump from an uncompetitive to an uncompetitive half, is no longer likely to occur unless the team has proved competitive to his standards. So they fixed the driver transfers, because if you remember, we had Lance Stroll in Red Bull last year. So they've done a lot. They've been doing a lot of. As I said before, I did not think that Codemasters would meant to release that for F1 2019. So yes, this next article is from IGN, of course, our big gaming news network. So this article's got, as I say, there's a lot of repetitiveness in all of these articles, but obviously designing race suits is something that needs to be added. Obviously we get to customise our livery, but whether or not, how much customization is there, we don't know. Whether or not it will just be select like the colours like it was in F1 2019 with the multiplayer car, whether it will be something else, we haven't seen that yet. We also haven't seen what the facilities are going to be like. Obviously there's going to be excuse me, we haven't, obviously we've said a wind tunnel already, but what other facilities are going to be? Is there going to be a hospitality room, for example? Is there going to be anything else? So yes. So this is the article I was mentioned earlier. It's from Eurogamer, and it's basically all about the sponsor. You'll sign a primary sponsor, select a power unit of either thing. So you'll sign a primary sponsor. Renault, Honda, Ferrari, Mercedes hire some young games to the port with an eye on maybe recruiting some established further down the road. You manage facilities, finances, contracts, and see those same facilities get spruced up as they reflect your progress. You can keep tabs on merch sales, so that's something that we see, press tours, driver training, ad campaigns and car reveals, juggling time and money as your main resources. And this new debt finds its way into other modes too, with more advanced contract negotiations drivers and chance to rush through power unit upgrades, with the accompanying risk of them being more prone to failure. Really though, it's the fantasy running your own team that's the main draw, especially for those we'd love to see in the long departed names of Lotus, Ligier, or blah blah blah. So yes, there's just one other thing in this article to mention about the hub. So let's say you can now customize. You could customize the hub, where things were on the layout before, but whether or not this is now saying you can customize. I want top of the order. I want a rich mix. Then I want my differentiation. I want another button, say boxes to have where I'm going to be coming out. I don't know what customization there is going to be there. But you could already move things around screen, so that's something. Hanoi is not up for discussion about the moment, and nobody's telling us why Hanoi is not. Maybe it's because there's something wrong with it or something. I don't know. I'm sure we will see that, or maybe it's Codemasters just wanting to have a big PR thing about it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. LiDAR means, this one's from my race fans. LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Again, laser scanning. But this is where I was mentioning earlier about sponsors. There's a primary sponsor which will stay for you the entire season, then you'll have another 4 sponsor slots. They obviously offer short-term goals, long-term goals. Big Splash Plus offer up with a shorter period over time or vice versa. You can pick and choose the way you want to handle that cash flow. Now, whether or not there will be sponsor events, that'd be quite cool. Like you'd have to attend. Maybe what would be quite cool if you had maybe you had, like they had owned a classic cars, bring that classic car bloke back from F1 2017, get him in there. Basically he comes and says, well look, we've got this event going on, will you drive this classic car this weekend? Blah blah blah. I know obviously you can say yes or no to that, but that would be quite a nice tie-in for those people who still like to drive the classic cars, potentially. And yes, there's still this thing about there's this thing here about the the F1 2019 F2 field feature at launch. So anybody who's in the 2020 field, you won't be able to sign until they patch that post-launch. I'm guessing on October potentially. September at the earliest, most likely going to be October. Apparently there are fictional drivers, otherwise seen in historical modes. So those drivers that have been created, that have got their own avatars, are being and they are being brought in as the game's paid drivers. So there we go. But obviously we can shut down facilities as well. So there's this game mode has got a lot more than just thing, but we don't know how big it is. Apparently it is big, but it could be bigger. I'm not gonna lie. It could be bigger. Oh, okay. Weber and Butler have gone. So you can do a full season, but of F2, but they won't be there basically. And since the fact that only Nicholas Latifi has made the jump from F2 to F1 for this year, it's not going to have the same effect, I don't think, with that. 2 new assists has been added as well. A lot of people have been struggling to remember the trigger the DRS. There's an auto DRS option, fuel management option. There's obviously auto DRS, auto fuel. Yeah. So they're basically making it an arcadic game like Grid was. I doubt a lot of this is not going to go down a lot with. I think there is also, by the way, a rear view camera as well option, so that has been added to the game as well. This one from Hardcore Gamer doesn't really affect my team, but it does state about some tyre temperatures, and obviously they had the carcass temperature back when it was that introduced in last year's game. And so I think that's going to be an increased stuff, which means Singapore might be deadly for tyres, depending on how much. I think, was it F1 2018? I can't remember. So I can't quite remember when that was actually implemented, but that could hold some problems. Okay, so this one is from WCCF Tech. Again, there are some mistakes in this article because they call drivers riders, but we'll gloss over that. You'll be able to manage your team by sending drivers out on training camps, letting drivers boost their statistics, but you can't help you in departments or even doing tasks as sponsors. So I think Classic Cars is going to be a big task for that, but hopefully they got some other stuff as well. So there's a lot of stuff that has not been. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it and how much obviously we're going to try and break literally everything, obviously, in our game experiment series. So yes, there's a rear move error, as I mentioned. And the final bit comes in the forms of the classic cars. They've released the classic car list, which basically these 16 classic cars, which I mentioned in an earlier video, basically the C3 classic cars have gone. They're not in the game for this year. All the other ones that have been in Formula 1 in last year's game are still there, but obviously we're still missing some of the ones that have been in previous series games. and ultimately we got the 4 new ones for Michael Schumacher. But that's a shame they're not adding anything more, and obviously classic tracks, unless that's going to be something that, yeah, they said they've been unless they add classic tracks, then I'm afraid that's not gonna happen in this year's game. And that pretty much is it for today's video. If you've got anything else you need, I know it's been a lot to digest, but there we go. If you've got anything else you want to ask, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer your question. But I have not played the game myself, and I'll of course go and look for some more articles when I get some more time. But until the next VR6 time, take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.